हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यवेशधारिणे। वंदे हम श्री गुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। साधु साधु तथा अन्यति चोचितारक मंच कदाचित् मां प्रेमरत्कण्ठ। Other day we discussed how knowledge about Krishna is rare, and also why knowledge about Krishna is rare, and from where we can know about Krishna. What is the source of knowledge about Krishna? We also discuss from where we should not learn about Krishna. Knowledge about Krishna is very rare, right? Manushanam sahasreshu kashid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kashinma vyati tatvata. Out of thousands of people, one rarely knows me. Among thousands and thousands of people who strive to achieve perfection, siddhi, perfection of human life, that is perfection of human life. In general Vedic culture, it is understood that attaining Brahma Jnana is considered as perfection of knowledge. Knowledge that we are not these bodies, we are spirit souls, Brahma Bhuta stage. in general. According to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, perfection of life is prema, prema pumatama. Here, Krishna speaking in a general way. Why knowledge of Krishna is rare? So we discussed that also. That how one may know impersonal Brahman, Bhagavan aspect is difficult to know. That's what we discussed. One point in that, there was one quote which I read from 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 15th verse. There, Prabhupada, he quotes this verse, Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdate. Tattva vidas, knowers of tattva, supreme absolute truth, knowers of absolute truth. Right? They describe absolute truth as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So Prabhupada there, he writes, the supreme truth is realized in three aspects, as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and as the supreme personality of Godhead. So at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to the supreme personality of Godhead. Here you see Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan iti shabdate. Their Paratattva is, Tattvam is described as Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. This also means three stages of realization, God realization. First is Brahman realization. Other day I discussed that everyone believes that, oh, there is some energy is there. If you ask them, oh, do you believe in God? Yes, there is some energy, they say. And energy can be practically experienced. Everyone knows that there is some potency here. Scientists, they speak about law of conservation of energy. So they know that energy is there. That is Brahman realization. Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti shabdate. So here Prabhupada, he says, so at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, this point, this word is very important. So at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to the supreme personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Krishna is Bhagavan. So at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to supreme personality. This last stage, therefore it is rare. Everyone may experience Brahman. If they are little more intelligent, they may even experience Paramatma also. But so at the last stage of understanding, so this is, therefore it is rare. This point which I had left out. Then we understood where we can know about Krishna. What is the source of knowledge of Krishna? We discussed from where we should not learn about Krishna, right? From Mayavadis, some mundane scholars. We should learn from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and similar literature. The factual knowledge can be known from descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Among Vedic literatures also, similar literatures here means what? Among Vedic literature also, Bhakti Shastras. So So like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Similar literature, you may say Brahma Samhita, similar literature. Gopal Tapani, like that. Or Satvika Puranas also. Madhvacharya said, leave all other Puranas, only accept Satvik Puranas. Such men therefore may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. So only Krishna can know him. When our Krishna himself reveals, then only we can know him. Therefore, he has revealed about himself in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, we should learn about Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, from the verses of Bhagavad Gita. Then today, we will discuss who cannot, although this knowledge of Krishna is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and similar literature, Bhakti Shastras, and he himself has revealed himself in Bhagavad Gita. But not everyone can know him. So, who cannot know Krishna? Before who can know Krishna? Who cannot know Krishna? We should understand that. Whenever we speak about personalities, who we should understand in terms of 6 kinds of human beings. There are 6 kinds of human beings are there. Anyone knows? Who will tell? There are 6 kinds of human beings and where they are described in Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? Nahi kalyana kasyid durgatim thata gacchati partha naimeha namutra na shastas na vidyate. It starts with partha naimeha namutra. Anyway, so there nahi kalyana krat kasyid durgatim thata gacchati. Those who are engaged in auspicious kalyana krat. So basically, in the purport, Prabhupada speaks about 6 kinds of human beings. First, there are lawbreakers. Lawbreakers means here not these mundane laws, man-made laws. Those who don't follow Vedic culture. Outlaws, they are considered as outlaws. Those who are not followers of Vedas. So, adharmic people. So they are considered as lawbreakers. Then there are law abiders. And among law abiders, there are 5 kinds of human beings. First one is sakama karmis, and then there are nishkama karmis, karma yogis. 2 kinds. Then there are jnanis, yogis, and finally there are bhaktas are there. Sakama karmis. where mixed devotees come in, this mixed bhaktas. Actually, they come in sakama karmis only, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Rasika Ranjana, he says, Karma Yoga means Karma Mishra Bhakti, he says. Yeshate, first time yoga word comes in, Yeshate Bihita Sankhe Buddhir Yogam Imam Shunu Buddhya Yukto Yaya Partha Karma Bandham Prahasyasi. Yoga. So he discusses yoga ladder there. Very, very concise, very, what do you call? No, not apt. I was searching for that word. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Eloquently, yeah. Eloquence, how he defined Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Truth spoken concisely is called eloquence. What is the Sanskrit and Bengali for that eloquence? Don't remember. That comes in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, maybe in first or second chapter, second chapter. So eloquently he explains yoga ladder. Then karma yoga means karma mishra bhakti. Jnana yoga means they cannot, so they will come in this karma, jnana, yoga level, mishra bhaktas. Mishra bhaktas. And how about mixed with Vikarma Mishra bhaktas? Anyway, there are 6 kinds of, when we speak about personalities, we speak in terms of these 6 kinds of persons. Of course, now we are talking about modern scenario where people fit into these 6 kinds of human beings. So there are sakam karmis, law breakers are there. Means basically they don't follow Vedic culture. Then there are sakama karmis, then there are karma yogis, jnana yogis, then ashtanga yogis, and then bhaktas. So who cannot know Krishna among 6 kinds of people? In that verse, Manushanam Sahasreshu Kashidhyatati, Prabhupada he writes, it is very difficult for non-devotees to know him. Non-devotees cannot know him. When we speak about non-devotees, who all are there? Apart from that one last category, devotee category, all others non-devotee category. So lawbreakers, sakama karmis, nishkama karmis are karma yogis, jnanis and yogis. So non-devotees, all these classes of non-devotees cannot know Krishna. It is very difficult for them to know Krishna. In the same purport, Prabhupada he mentions, it is not possible for Brahman realized impersonalized or Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. How can, so basically here you see, so Prabhupada is First he says non-devotees cannot know him. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Then he makes more clarification. Brahman realized impersonalists or Paramatma realized yogis. It is not possible to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, as the son of Mother, in particular the charioteer of Arjuna. So impersonalists, how Brahman, Parabrahma, who is what for them, according to them, is light, effulgence. How he can take birth? If he is born as son of Mother Yashoda, therefore he cannot be God, Supreme Personality called Parabrahman. Son of Mother Yashoda. Krishna took birth as son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or he was son of Mother Yashoda. How can he be Supreme Personality of Godhead? Or someone is driving the chariot of Arjuna, Partha Sarathi. They cannot understand Yashodanandan, Supreme Personality of Godhead as Yashodanandan, and Partha Sarathi, charioteer of Arjuna. Partha Sarathi. Such a menial service he is doing, menial karma he is doing. Chariot driver means generally Shudras used to drive chariot. Karna was a Suta Putra, Suta. That Suta community was basically chariot drivers. His father, he told him that take the reins of the chariot. Then Karna says, no, I want bow and arrow. Because he was born as a Kshatriya. So how can he be? Krishna can be. It is bewildering, right? How can he be son of Mother Yashoda? He is playing, he is drinking the breast milk of Mother Yashoda. Even Mother Yashoda and Nanda thinks that, oh, Krishna is dependent on us. We have to feed him nicely, we have to maintain him, bring him up nicely. How can he be Supreme Personality of Godhead? How can a chariot driver of Arjuna can be? So these pastimes can be very bewildering for impersonalists and Paramatma realized yogis. Therefore, they cannot know. Again in the same purport, Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is Tattvataha. Because there in the verse, Krishna said that Kashinma Vetti Tattvataha. That verse ends with Tattvataha. So before this statement, Prabhupada, he says actually how even great demigods are confused about Krishna. Anyway, unless one practices devotion, one cannot know Krishna as he is, even though one is a great scholar or philosopher. We will leave this statement. So basically now he says non-devotees cannot know Krishna. Then he makes it more clear. Brahman realized impersonalists, Paramatma realized yogis cannot understand Krishna. Then in 10.2, anyone remembers what is 10.8? Aham adiri devana maharshinam cha. What is it? Nabevitu suragana prabhavam na maharsham adiri de maharshinam cha sarvasha. In that purport, Prabhupada says that. So even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name or his personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this teeny planet? So you will get more details here. So even demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So what is the position now? So-called scholars of this teeny planet. So Prabhupada is asking a question here, rhetorical statement. Demigods and great sages. Where they come among the 6 kinds of human beings? Demigods and sages. They are Nishkama and Gyanis. Nishkama. How come they are Nishkama, demigods? Actually, Madhva Sampradaya, Madhvacharya generally considers demigods as devotees, and therefore they are worshipable. In 11th canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna said to Uddhava that demigods are superior to the sages. So generally among Gaudiyas we accept devotees, acharyas as superior to demigods. But in Madhva Sampradaya it is not. Demigods are given more. Of course there is details to that. Vayu is the highest among all. So he is even superior to Rudra, Lakshmi, everyone. In 11th canto when Krishna says that demigods superior to sages, in the commentary Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur he said that the sages refers to not to the pure devotees. It refers to sages among jnanis and yogis, like that. He clarified that. But sometimes we see that sages cursing demigods and all. In the Puranas we get so many. Anyway, demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. Yes, there are some mixed demigods or devatas, especially this. This term demigod, it is proper used just to make distinction between Krishna and other devatas. But literally, if you take that, it has a different meaning. In a Vedic parlance, it correlates with there are some lower devatas Among the devatas also there are some lower devatas. Like we see, no, that who are they? Singers, kinnaras, what are they? Gandharva, kinnaras, and all these people actually. So literally, if you see that in Christian, demigod word is a Christian word. Literally, it is somewhat like that, lower gods. Among the devatas also. Anyway, so devatas are karma mishra because they still attach to this material world and all the luxuries and sense gratification of this world. So there can be some exceptions to that. We may accept Vayu as a pure devotee under the guidance of the great Madhvacharya. Brahma is a pure devotee, we know. Like that, there can be exceptions. Lord Shiva is a pure devotee, Vaishnava, Nam, Yatha, Shambhu. So demigods are mostly, they are Mishra Bhaktas. And great sages, who are they? If you see the commentary here, Bhagavad Gita, Aham Adirihi Devanam. So, what is that? Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvara Manavastata. Where it comes? No, that one we discussed, not 10.6. Yeah, 10.6, right. Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvara Manavastata Madbhava Manasa Jata Esham Loka Imam Shunu. You understood the context here? Name Vidu Suragana Aham Adiri Devanam Maharshinam Cha. Maharshinam Cha Sarvasha. I am the source of Devas and Maharshis. So these Maharshis, who are they Maharshis? Sapta Rishis, because Krishna himself comments there. Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvar. Second verse and the sixth verse, how they are linked. Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvaro Manavastata Ahamadi Madbhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Imam Prajaha. So when Krishna says Aham Adiri Devan Maharshinam, there is Sapta Rishis. Sapta Rishis, why they cannot know Krishna? Because they are Rishis, they are very detached, renounced. But still they are not pure devotees. Attachment to detachment. They are attached to detachment. Because eligibility for pure devotional service, what Rupa Goswami said, you should not be too much attached also, then you become karmi. You become sense enjoyer. And if you are too detached also, then what you will become? You will become jnani and yogi. So great sages, they are attached to detachment. They cannot understand neither. They can understand neither his name or nor personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this teeny plan? Where these teeny scholars, they come on among the so-called scholars. One thing in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, because he was preaching in the Western countries, so he severely criticized these academic scholars, mundane scholars. Again and again, if you can find in Bhagavad Gita purports. So what is the position of the so-called scholars? Such great exalted personalities, they cannot know God, Krishna, demigods and great sages. What to speak of the so-called scholars of this teeny planet? So where they fit into six kinds of human beings? Jnanis. Scholars are supposed to be jnanis. But this can apply to even so-called Vedic scholars also. Those who are followers of Vedic culture. and mundane scholars, academic scholars. They are law breakers only. They are a little more intelligent among them. Tamasa buddhi. Intelligence also. Krishna speaks among three kinds of intelligence in Bhagavad Gita. Then in 14th verse, Sarvametadvratam manne yanma vadasi keshava nahite bhagavan vyaktim vidurdevana dhanava. Bhagavan nahite bhagavan vyaktim. Nahite bhagavan vyaktim. Bhagavan means this is Sambodhana. He is addressing, O Bhagavan, O personality of Godhead. So, here particularly Vidur Devana Dhanava. Neither demigods nor demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Devana Dhanava. Generally, Devas are in higher planets and Dhanavas are in the lower planets. That means human beings can understand Krishna. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. Basically, it is neither. It includes even human beings also. Again, Prabhupada in the purport, Arjuna herein confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by demigods, so what to speak of so-called scholars of this material world, this modern world. Like, therefore I mentioned, again Prabhupada, what to speak of so-called scholars. In the previous quote also we were discussing that what is the position of the so-called scholars of this tiny planet. So here also. So faithless and demonic nature cannot understand. So faithless and demonic nature, basically they are Dhanavas. Arjuna herein confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. They are Dhanavas. He is not even known by demigods. What to speak of the so-called scholars of this. So basically you see, Vidur Devana Dhanava, it includes also human beings. Therefore, Prabhupada comments, so what to speak of so-called scholars of this modern world. So in this way, Krishna, when he says Na Vidur Na Dhanava, it includes all the three worlds, lower, middle and higher. In the next verse, what is that? Swayam evatmanatmanam vyattatvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Prabhupada continues. It is basically comment on this verse only, 14. Vidur Devana Dhanava verse. The word is there, no? Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. A common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. A common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. this includes, you see, people of this common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. So that is from 10.15. Again in 10.19, that is when Krishna starts speaking there. From 12th verse to 18th verse, Arjuna is speaking. You all know Parabrahma, Paramdhama, Pavitram, from there all. Then in the 19th verse, Krishna, he starts speaking because Arjuna asked him to speak about his vibhutis. Krishna starts speaking about his vibhutis in the 19th verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvach Hantate Katayishyami Divyahya Atma Vibhutayaha Pradhanyata Kuru Shreshta Nastyanto Vistarasya Me. Hanta Ahanta Vishavaksh. Alas, alas. Arjuna is asking him about vibhutis, and Krishna says, oh, what all I'll speak to you about these things. How much I can speak. Krishna can speak, but how many things I'll speak like that. Hantate katayishyami. Divya hya atma vibhutayaha pradhanyata kuru sreshta. Nastyanto vistarasya me. Pradhanyata. Only prominent among them I'll speak. For my opulence is limitless. Nastyanto vistarasya me. There is no end to them. So in that purport, Prabhupada, he says that the last section, last part of the purport, second paragraph, basically, 2 paragraphs are there. The impersonalists or pansists cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of His divine energies. Because in this word, pradhanyata word came, principle. And he also quotes Vibhuti, Amarakosha here. Amarakosha is a dictionary written by Amarasimha, who was a Buddhist. Very widely known among the scholarly, especially Vedic scholars also. Sanskrit is, we can say, very popular. There are so many koshas actually, Medini Kosha, Vishwa Kosha, Amara Kosha, so many koshas. Halayuda Kosha. There are many koshas there. Among all of them, Amara Kosha is very popular among the Sanskritists in today's day and age. Children in young age, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, they are made to memorize this Amara Kosha. So that as soon as you read some Sanskrit statement or a Sanskrit verse, immediately you know the meanings. That should come in the mind. But this is only, Amara Kosha is only noun. Nama Linganushasana, it is called as. It is qualified. The title name of the kosha is Amara Kosha, and below that it is qualified as Nama Linganushasana. Nama Linganushasana. What is the meaning of Nama Linganushasana? Namas means it is nouns. Linganushasana means it is whether it is generally nouns are of three genders, right? So Nama Linganushasana, genders is discussed. Which is which gender? Krishna, Akarantha, Pullinga Shabda, like that Anushilanam, Linganushilanam is given. Krishna is Draupadi, and there was also Duryodhana's daughter was Krishna. Samba kidnapped her or something, right? Lakshmana, her name is. Getting confused, mixed up. Anyway, Krishna, Draupadi is called Krishna because that is Akarant Strilinga Shabda. It is Radha, Rama, Sita, Akarant Strilinga Shabda. Anyway, Amara Kosha is Namalingan. Vibhuti is described, indicates an exceptional opulence here. Prabhupada quotes says. So impersonalists or pantheists cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord nor the manifestations of His divine energies. Vibhuti, yoga. Two things are there. Yoga means mystic potencies or divine energies. That is also quoted by Nirukta, I think, in the previous chapter that comes in the verse. Pashyami Yogam Aishwaram, that verse. Durgateshu Kareshu, what is it? That is from Nirukta, I think. Generally Prabhupada Nirukti writes. It is Nirukta. Yoga word is Yujjate Nena Durgateshu Kareshu. That is yoga. Mystic potencies. Nachamastani Bhutani Pashyami Yogameshwaram Bhuta Barnacha. Bhuta Brahnacha Bhutasto Mamatma Bhut 9.5. Anyway, so here impersonalists and pantheists cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord nor the manifestation of divine energy. Impersonalists and pantheists. Pantheist. This word pantheist also has some Western connotation, but it can be used for Mayavadis. They are pantheists because Shankaracharya, he started this Panchopasana. Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, Surya and Ganesha worship. That is Panchopasana, it is called as. And the theory behind that also. What is the theory behind pantheism? What is this pantheism? Actually, in the Western countries, they understand some or other this Shankara Mayavada became very famous because some of the books were translated in English. Mayavadi books were translated. Famous Mayavadis. One knows that Hiriyanna from here, Karnataka. His book was very popular. So impersonalists and pantheists. So what is the theory behind that pantheism? That ultimately there is one Parabrahma which is impersonal, monistic. That same Parabrahma manifests into so many forms here. Impersonal Parabrahma. Assuming material forms. So Saguna, that Nirguna Brahma becomes Saguna Brahma. So we worship. We can worship anything. We can worship stones, we can worship trees. All these kind of things. It goes on expanding. Of course, then they will say we have to worship only what is described in the Vedas. Then that is a restriction as a worshipable deity. Not Sai Baba. But the theory comes from there. The impersonalists and pantheists cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord nor the manifestation. How they don't understand? Because you see, if everything is a transformation of Brahman, opulences of the Supreme Lord, so basically he negates the energies of the Lord. But the Vedas themselves describe about energies of the Lord, right? The famous and very well known and widely quoted by Srila Prabhupada from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Parasha Shaktir Vividaiva Shuyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriya Cha. So basically, Shankara negates the energies, opulences of the Lord, Supreme Lord, his divine energies. So Brahman himself has transformed into jivas and material world. So for him, Prakriti is not energy of the Purusha. Prakriti is the transformation of Purusha himself. So in this way, impersonalists and pantheists cannot understand exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord nor. So by Krishna, by speaking about his energies and opulences, he is condemning, criticizing this, negating Mayavad rubbish. So again in the 11th chapter, after showing universal form, Krishna then, Arjuna was scared of this universal form, then he assumed his beautiful 400 form. Then on the request of Arjuna, then he assumed his 200 form. In 11.53, Prabhupada, this is one more way our Acharya has explained how 200 form is the original form of the Lord. Of the Lord. Like when he appeared in front of Devaki, he assumed he appeared in 400 form. Then he goes back to 200 form. The original form is 200 form, but he makes it people to somehow confuses people to that original form is 400 form, like that. So in 11.53, what Krishna says, Naham vedairna tapasa na danena chejjaya chakyayevam vido drashtam drashtava nasimam yata. You see now what all the quotes which we are reading here, they are all connected. Vidur, the verses that Vidur word comes, right? Naham vedayana tapasa na danena chejjaya chakyeva vido drashtam drashtavana simam yatha. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Naham Vedairna Tapasa. This contradicts Vedanta. Vedanta says Shastra Yonitvat, the very third verse. First verse speaks about Atato Brahma Jidnyasa. Second verse speaks about what is that Brahma is. Brahma is defined in terms of cause of creation, maintenance and Janmadhyasya, cause of creation, maintenance and destruction. And the third, what is the means of knowing that Parabrahma? Shastra Yonitvat, born of Shastra. He can be known by Shastra. So often in that verse commentary, most of the acharyas, they spoke about the Vedas. Vedas as Apaurush. Veda Paurushatva is discussed by most of the commentators. So Baldev Vidyabhushan in his commentary on Vedanta Sutra is called as, there is another commentary by, then there is another commentary in which he mentions Karika Bhasha, Brahma Sutra, Karika Bhasha. Karikas. Karikas means versified commentary. So he wrote one line. Shastra Gamyam and Shastra Kartru, like that. He is Gamyam means he is known or he is object of the Shastras. And he is also compiler of the Shastra, Kartru. Shastra Kartru, which is a really revolutionary idea based on Bhagavatam. Because mostly everyone among Vedic followers, except the Nayakas, everyone accepted that Vedas are eternal. They were never written by any human being in the history. They always existed. Apaurusha, Veda Paurushat means they always existed. Everyone. Previously, Buddhists and Jains, they say that Vedas were written by human beings. Apart from that, in recent history, Max Muller and company, just to fit Vedic history into mosaic chronology, he said that they were written 3,200 years back, especially Max Muller. Max Muller was the first one to give timeline for the Vedic compositions. Because according to mosaic chronology, God created world 6,000 years back in 7 days. On the 7th day, he created human beings so that he can exploit all other beings. So 6,000 years back. What a ludicrous thing it is. Anyway, here Krishna says, of course that is not point of, it is a distraction from our actual point. Naham Vedairna Tapasanada. In this purport, the form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying Vedas, nor by understanding Sixpence, nor by charity. This verse actually will come in the next sessions, which we are going to take, how to understand Krishna. You cannot understand by these means. So basically how he cannot be known he is speaking about it. So in the purport of Prabhupada, he says that purport it begins, you see, Krishna first appeared before his parents Devaki and Vasudeva in a four-handed form, and then he transformed himself into two-handed form. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists and who are devoid of devotional service. So how atheists, and when they hear this, first of all, they think that Krishna was born to Devaki and Vasudeva. And if you say them, no, he was not, he didn't take ordinary birth, he appeared in four-handed form with all the, what is the description given by Shukdev Goswami there? What is the description? So elaborate, 3 verses he dedicates to describe elaborately how his features there. He has 4 arms with all kinds of decorations, ornaments, fully grown hair, and he was smiling. And there was crown on his head. This is how any child takes birth like this. Doesn't take. Generally we quote this on Janmashtami day. One lecture is Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. How appearance of Lord is Divyam, is transcendental. Then we quote these 3 verses spoken by Shukadeva. Now atheists will argue how it is possible that one can take birth like that. So because most of the atheists, they think that God is one amongst them. One amongst them. One question you can ask to these atheists: why you believe that Krishna, when anyone brings up any controversy about Krishna's pastimes, we should ask them from where you learned first thing about Krishna. Then their speculation or whatever they learned from whomever they learned from, that's all nonsense, you should say. So we learn about Krishna from Puranas, Mahabharata and Itihas, and the same Puranas, Mahabharata, in the same, when Shukadeva Goswami described him, he described him in this way. You have to accept that. So it's a mystery. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists and who are devoid of devotional service. For scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature, first atheists and who are devoid of devotional service, then for scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualifications, Krishna is not possible to understand. Academic study of Vedic literature. So, Naham Vedair na tapasa, you will get here some hint. Prabhupada is telling, you may know by Vedas, but not by academic study. Nor is he to be understood by persons who are different. So Prabhupada was very much against this mundane scholarship, so-called scholars. You can see, like I quoted so many here in the purport, it's exceptional. So nowadays even devotees, what they are doing is they are converting Krishna consciousness education into academic education. Anyone can learn, take degrees, diploma degree, this degree, that degree, bachelor degree, MA degree. Of course, a big university is also coming up by ISKCON devotees. So is it a way to understand Krishna and Vedic literatures that these people will come and they will study without any commitment, without any following spiritual, rigid, devotional practice, and just for degree's sake they will come and they will take degree and go away? No. And another thing is those who are given Bhakti Shastra degrees, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Siddhanta Bhakti. They should also follow what they are studying, not by academic study. For scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualifications, Krishna is not possible to understand. Nor he is to be understood by persons who officially go to temple to worship, offer worship. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna. Why? Because here Krishna, he said, Ijja. Naham vedayana tapasa na danena chejaya. Cheja. Ijja. Ijja means worship. Ijja. Ijja. Here you see, nor he is to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple to offer worship. Neophytes. Neophytes. Just to officially worship Krishna. That means if we worship Krishna just as a matter of duty, आज मेरा सेवा है करना है, that is not, we will not be able to understand Krishna. We have to worship Krishna with love. With love, with enthusiasm, with dedication. Official duty. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Okay. The next verse Krishna says he can be understood by Bhaktya Tvananya Shakya Aham Yemam Vidorja. That will go to how to understand Krishna. Okay, who cannot know Krishna? We discussed. Any questions, comment on this?
Classification of demigods is
Karma Mishra. Karma Mishra, actually.
So in this
Karma Mishra means basically they will come in category of Karma Yoga, not Karma. I actually, after saying that, I qualified it. Because they have attachment, therefore they are not pure devotees. They are still on the platform of karma. They are more of karma yogis, and they do it for Krishna on behalf. They are looking after material world on behalf of Krishna. But they are attached to sense gratification also. That's why they are karma mishra.
In this classification, that Nishkam Karma was equated with Karma Yogi.
Yeah, because Nishkam karma means, if you see, Bhagavad Gita Prabhupada makes it clear actually. In the beginning, there is Nishkama Karma Yoga, then there is Bhagavat Arpita Nishkama Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, there are two divisions. In the beginning, he may not be knowing God, but he is detached from the fruits of action. He may do charity to some philanthropical work and all. Because he is detached, therefore it is yoga. But he is, generally what happens, it is ascending process. we are follow bhakti yogis because we know God is there and we are descending. Aroha and Avroha Pantha applies here also. They are searching God. They don't know who is God, but they are detached from the fruits of action. It's a very beginning stage of karma yoga. Then when it becomes Bhagavat Arpita, later stage, once they realize.
So in this classification, Mishra Bhakta is not specifically mentioned.
That is in 12th chapter when Krishna speaks about Bhakti Yoga. If you cannot do this, you do this. If you cannot do this, you do this. Like that Krishna says, right? There it comes, you see. In the purport Prabhupada, he clarifies that in the beginning he may not be knowing. He may do some philanthropical activities. Yeah, you see here. Ataitadapyasaktosi kartum mad yogamashritah sarvakama karma palatyagam tata kuro yatatmanah. 11th verse. He says, if however you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, mad yogamashritah, ataidap asaktosi, asakta, unable. Kartum mad yogamashritam. Then try to in sarva karma palatyagam tatakuru yatatmavan. Then try to act giving of all results of your work and try to be self-satisfied. It may be that purport, you see. It may be that one is unable to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial and religious considerations or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated results of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions of punya or special work in which result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus one may gradually become elevated to the state. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in activities of Krishna gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives of the hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here, because by practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually, and in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's. Then he comes back to Janma Koti Sukratirna Labhyate. Clear? Then?
Basically, this classification is not specifically mentioning mixed devotees, because mixture can be any of the other.
Yeah. They have to be. They will automatically come in that category, no? I mentioned about. Oh, you are speaking about Mishra devotees. You are saying Mishra devotees are. I quoted. That's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Karma Mishra Bhakti. Karma Yoga means Karma Mishra Bhakti. It is. Yoga means you have to link it to Krishna or Supreme. But in the beginning, even if you don't know who is Supreme, until sometimes Jnanis, they are impersonalists. But that is also some level of God realization, right? Brahman, Paramatma and all, yogis. So that is also yoga. Offenders are different. Here we are not talking about offenders. We are speaking about those who are envious. They describe badly about Krishna as we are not talking about such philosophers. We are speaking about some ascending, those who are in ascending process. They are searching. They don't have clear knowledge. They are jnana yogis and karma yogis. They don't know where to give dana, charity. They may give it to physical work. That some element of detachment is there. That is what Prabhupada using the word here, detachment. Hard earned money, wealth.
In a strict sense, all these other yogas cannot be literally called as yogas, right?
Where?
Other yogas like Karma Yoga, Jnana, Ashtanga, you use the word yoga. Yoga in a strict sense only applies for bhakti, because that's where you really commit yourself to Krishna, to this pure person.
No, that's what I said. No, just now I made a point that Krishna means he is Brahman also and Paramatma also.
Right.
They may not be knowing person Krishna,
Right.
but they may be some Brahman level, Paramatma level, ascending process.
But still that process is
But one more point here is, these are followers of the Vedic culture, that we should remember. Those who are outside of Veda, that's why Vikarma Yoga or Vikarma Mishra Yoga is an impossibility. It is. This was a statement made by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami.
But many times I heard yoga means only bhakti yoga. In a strict sense.
So that is, that you have to understand the entire process. That's why in that Karma Mishra, Karma Yoga also comes. The entire process is called as Bhakti Yoga.
That ladder is called Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga or Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga is another term. The entire yoga process or ladder is called as, just like Prabhupada gave example, Himalayan mountain range is there. But inside there are different peaks are there. Mount Everest, this, that and all. You know which was purport he gave this example? 6.47, last purport, because first 6 chapter describe about yoga ladder. First, last chapter, concluding verse purport, he speaks about this. How there is one mountain range is there, Himalayan. Within mountain range, there are different peaks are there. So this whole thing is called as Bhakti Yoga. Sometimes he puts it as Krishna consciousness. Or yoga or Buddhi Yoga. 3 terms are there. Sometimes just yoga word is used. Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Be a yogi. Means he is speaking about, don't be a materialistic sense enjoyer or Vedic sense enjoyer also. Dharmic and adharmic. Be a yogi. Follow the path of yoga. That's why basic message of Krishna consciousness is, Bhagavad Gita is, at least be a karma yogi. Basic message. Ultimately it is surrender unto me. Sarvadharmam parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Although Prabhupada always pushes for surrender unto him. Basic message is at least be a karma yogi. Don't be regulated and unregulated sense enjoyer. Sense gratification is condemned again and again. Both Vedic and non-Vedic sense gratification. Dharmic and adharmic, both. This whole process is yoga. Within that, Karma Yoga comes, Jnana Yoga comes. They are different peaks, different rungs, yoga ladder. It's clear?
Sankhya is never called as yoga. Generally, Sankhya is called Sankhya philosophy.
There are differences there. Darshana's philosophies are different. Sometimes these are mixed with yogas. Sometimes they are mixed with Vedic literatures. They are not Vedic literature, they are Vedic philosophies. They are born out of, Vedic speculation, you can say, or Vedic studies. In the list of Vedic literature, then they generally give this darshanas also. Different rishis, when they studied Vedic literature, and they came up with different speculations. Okay, anything? Sankhya Yoga and Jnana Yoga are both the same, one and the same.
Sankhya Yoga and Jnana Yoga are to be understood as same.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam.